the IRS scandal. Our next guest sits on one of those committees, the Ways and Means, and he's calling for real tax reform. Congressman Tim Griffin is with us. Congressman, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
First thing I want to talk about is this, the idea of tax reform, because all of these scandals seems to have thrust that into the public eye once again. And yet I hear from Republicans and Democrats, you guys can't be talking about the same thing.
Well, I think this is another really, really good reason for tax reform. You know, we give our most expansive powers to one of our most, if not our most intrusive agency, that being the IRS. And if you really want to get the IRS working between the ditches, so to speak, and under control, the way you do that is you take away a lot of the discretion that they have over the code by reducing the complexity of the code. I mean, right now, the IRS decides what the numerous provisions mean, whether you are complying with those provisions, and what the penalty is if you're not. And, they are, sure, you can appeal and you can ultimately go to court, but that just requires more resources. I mean, the bottom line is, if we reduce the complexity of the code, get rid of, not all, right, but get rid of a lot of the provisions.
With all due respect, almost every presidential candidate says they're going to go and they're going to look at the code line by line, and yet it grows every day like a mighty redwood. I mean, you can't stop it. It gets bigger, not smaller. And so realistically, I mean, can we take away the power from the IRS? Can we really go in there and break apart the tax code and make it less onerous, more transparent, and take away the inability of any administration to use government agencies, specifically the IRS, as a political weapon? Is that really truly possible?
Yes, I think it is. I mean, you're never going to eliminate all bad conduct, misconduct in agencies, but yes, you can make it much more citizen friendly, and you can reduce the influence of the IRS. We have not had tax reform since 1986. So the fact that we had it in 1986 and we've had it before that indicates that yes, it can be done, but yes, it is rare and it's a heavy lift. And I'm on the Ways and Means Committee, and this is what we're working on right now. And I think with Senate Finance Committee Baucus not running for re-election, I think this is the time to get this done. The president's on board with the corporate tax part of the equation. That was in his budget. That's a big deal that we've gotten him on board with that. I think if Harry Reid would let regular order work its will in the Senate, we're certainly going to have something in the House.
Right.
Let's meet in conference.
Well, speaking of meeting in conference, where do you think that there are commonalities? Where, have you spoken to your Democratic colleagues? Do you think, okay, we've got a foundation for this because both sides think it's a no-brainer?
Well, I think the general concept of reducing the complexity, reducing a lot of the provisions, not all, but a lot of the deductions, loopholes, exemptions, whatever you want to call them, and reducing the rates, using the revenue you get by closing some of those to reduce the rates. That general construct is agreed upon not only by Ways and Means Chairman Dave Camp, but also Finance Committee Chair Baucus. So the specifics obviously won't be the same, but you know what? We work through differences all the time when regular order is allowed to proceed.
Well, sir, I got to tell you, this is one of the things that all Americans, no one's going to give you any pushback on it. So we certainly wish you luck, and we're really happy that you're taking charge of this. And we'll ask you back as you make progress with it. Thanks a lot for taking out the time this morning.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Love to do it.
Now I want you guys to take a look at this.